Hey guys, Bobby Bollinger here, and today I'll be bringing you the second edition of my NFL offseason moves. This time, covering the AFC West. A mixed bag of teams. Some focus on defense, one focuses on offense, and one doesn't know what the hell it is anymore. How should they draft? Let's see. Or, offseason moves, period. Well, first of all, Oakland Raiders. I would have put running back on here, but Marshawn Lynch is apparently interested in coming back, and if he does, and if he's even somewhat beast mode again, not full, but somewhat beast mode, he'll be really good because for the first time ever, he will have a competent O-line, and that should mean a lot. Now, past that, if Lynch doesn't come in for some reason, it doesn't matter. The Raiders running backs, like last year, people said they had good running backs. They did not. If you watch these people, you can tell they're just mooching off of the O-line. These running backs are not that good. Not necessarily bad, but if anyone's going out of their way to take one of these guys from the Raiders, they're going to be sorely disappointed. Like, there's one guy, every single time he's about to get tackled, he turns his back for a spin move like, dude, we're gonna figure it out eventually. It didn't work the first time, it never freaking works for him. It's just horrible, that one is a horrible running back. And he is definitely mooching off of the O-line, but regardless, Raiders can take anything for a decent runner, and besides, they're not too focused on running the ball, and they've got Derek Carr. Their biggest concern is on the defense, and I would try, if I were them, to improve the secondary now. They could use improvements on the defensive line as well, but the reason I don't have that here is because Derek Carr is still young, and the Raiders team right now does have potential for long-term success. So going for the win now approach, in my mind, probably isn't the best idea. So let's just get that secondary a little bit better, help out this quarterback who may be a little bad after injury, probably not, but he might slow down. Let's improve the secondary for safety, bring in Marshawn Lynch, and carry our little butts to the Super Bowl before we betray the fans and move to Las Vegas because our owner is a dick. Okay, Chargers. Now, they really would like to improve the O-line because Phillip Rivers is a really good player. But the way I see it is the Chargers right now have two stars. Two-star players. And one's on defense, one's on offense. It's Joey Bosa and Phillip Rivers. And because they're so low right now, they have to choose who they're going to build around. And in my mind, that has to be Joey Bosa because, for one, Phillip Rivers is starting to get old. It would be nice to build around him if he was the only star, I would. But since Joey Bosa's around, he's younger, and the draft is supposed to be heavy on defense, yeah, you should try to build around Joey Bosa instead. It'll be an awkward transition because Phillip Rivers and the offense don't gel that well with a super defensive team, but Phillip Rivers is getting older, his window's closing, it's time to transition. So the Chargers just need to make improvements on defense. Where on defense? Personally, I think they have an especially large problem in the secondary, but really they could use it everywhere. Then there's the Broncos. You notice how there's no quarterback put on here? Yeah, it's because they don't have a quarterback problem. I don't get why people say the Broncos have a quarterback problem. Trevor Siemian and 2 receivers were literally the only offense they had all season. They couldn't run the ball behind that crappy O-line. Like, how can you blame a quarterback with average receivers when his O-line is so horrendously bad and they can't get any offense going? Simeon has to make those risky throws. And yeah, he's a hell of a lot better than Paxton Lynch. They tried bringing Paxton Lynch in. He freaking failed. So guess what? Trevor Simeon, he's the starter right now. Maybe in the future, when they can get a different offense going, they can switch over to something more suited to Paxton Lynch. But I'm going to have to stick with Trevor Simeon. And while the draft sucks in O-line, you really have to go for it. Because, like, yeah, you have a great defense, but that defense just lost its defensive coordinator and its head coach. It has to go downhill from that. Like, yeah, maybe you have the same players. Maybe you try to get better players on the team, but without that defensive planning, without that defensive scheming of your defensive coordinator or head coach, because it can be either one, without those, it's gone. So the Broncos really have to wonder, this is a season where they have to think, they just have to experiment, like, okay, is our new defensive coordinator able to keep us as an elite defense? If you can, continue on with the path you've been on, improve the O-line a little bit, just so you can actually run the ball somewhat decently. But if it can't, you have to go for your offense. Like, okay, we got a high-risk, high-reward quarterback, we got decent receivers, our defense is falling apart, let's just gun for that offense again. It's, in my mind, the best course of action. Just play it safe this draft and offseason, improve your O-line a little bit, and just see what happens. The Broncos they're not in a good position this year. And finally, the Chiefs. Yeah, if you remember my video, the Patriots had nothing on here because I didn't think there was anything they really needed to improve on. The same applies to the Chiefs. Which seems weird because, you know, they lost. They're not Super Bowl champions, but I think the Chiefs have everything they need. They have a great defense. It does its job just fine. And for however much flack Alex Smith gets, I think he just adjusts one little thing. And it's a little thing. He's just fine. The main problem with the Chiefs seems to be that their offense doesn't have any explosive potential, but now they have a wide receiver in Tyreek Hill. And I don't know how well the guy catches. I don't know that. But I do know he absolutely burns defenses horribly. Like, let's consider this. In the playoff game against the Steelers, the Chiefs ended up losing, but they would have won if Alex Smith had just trusted Tyreek Hill a little bit. Because there were 2 examples that day where Tyreek Hill had just absolutely destroyed the defenders, gotten way past them. And now, if Alex Smith had just thrown it to him, hell, if he had thrown it like 10 feet too far to the right, he would have caught it and gone in for a touchdown. There were 2 instances of that. 2 touchdowns that didn't happen because Alex Smith didn't trust Tyreek Hill enough. Now, in one case, they still got a field goal, so it was only a loss of 4 points. But the other time, they didn't get anything. So it was a loss of 7 points. So if Alex Smith trusted Tyreek Hill a little bit, they'd almost certainly have 11 more points in that game, which means they would have won against the Steelers and gone on against the Patriots. And would they have beaten the Patriots then? I don't know. It's impossible to tell, but the Chiefs were just one tiny adjustment just 1 year of growth and chemistry and Alex Smith trusting Tyreek Hill away from the AFC Championship game and possibly the Super Bowl. They could have been Super Bowl champions if Alex Smith had just trusted Tyreek Hill a little bit more. The Chiefs are really that close. They don't need personnel changes. They just need to maintain what they've got, and they can make the Super Bowl. It will happen naturally as Alex Smith grows to trust Tyreek Hill more and more. It should. But in the meantime, like, there's really nothing special the Chiefs need to do. I know that's boring, but it's kind of true. I mean, there's not much else the Chiefs can do. There's nothing for the Chiefs, really. They got what they need. If you guys have different suggestions for these teams, you can leave that in the comment sections below, and I'll see you next time. G'day.